So you were doing really well at the end of 2019, going into 2020, correct?
Yep, that is correct. We're doing very well.
And all of a sudden, the world shuts down and COVID happens. My story and your story collide here. I came down to Florida. I guess it was the summer, part of the
Yep,
summer.
it was the summer.
That first year that COVID happened, everything was closed. I think they had just opened up the airplane so you could get on an airplane. But like when I flew down to Palm Beach from New York, I came with my daughter Wyatt, and there might have been 5 people on the plane, and everyone was dressed in like a hazmat suit. Like we
Yeah,
walked around like this, you couldn't
right.
touch anything.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
even
that was
to pee in the toilet. I remember it was like a whole fiasco because you were like using your elbow to
you can't
like
touch
it was
anything.
you could not touch a thing.
Right,
It
right, right.
was crazy town. And by the way, the tickets were $7 to
Are
fly.
you serious?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't
it
even
was
know
amazing.
that.
Oh yeah, it was
Wow, that
bizarre.
was cheap.
Anyway, so we came down here and we were staying for an indefinite amount of time till we figured stuff out because
Right,
everything in New York was closed. Things were
right.
not as closed in Florida, but your dance studio was closed, right? Or it was
Yep.
shutting down a little bit. Tell me where you were at that point.
Yeah. So honestly, it was just in God's hands because I didn't know what was going on. Like once I closed down once we shut down the studio for however many months that was, like, okay, this is when adversity kicks in, like, but adversity can teach you or adversity can defeat you, but the choice is always yours. But lo and behold, I received a phone call from yours truly, yourself, and that changed the game because I wasn't strong. I wasn't doing private lessons strongly like that, like teaching when I actually what it was we did this little camp for Wyatt, and I think it was the third or the fourth TikTok video we posted. One of them went viral
Yeah.
because of Wyatt and yourself, because of your name, really, and Wyatt. And so after that, when that video went viral, and I forget, I started receiving DMs from moms in Boca, Palm Beach, Miami, and New York. And I've never received any clients that had any interest of me coming to teach private lessons in New York, period. So
Right.
my Palm Beach Island, so now we're talking about real money now. So the Palm Beach Island clientele was like, I would have like 15 to, was it 12 to 15 different clients I would go to because of you. I would go to daily, like 3 or 4 times a day. And I'm charging like, at that time, I was charging $200 an hour. I don't know why I'm telling this, but yeah, but yeah. So anyway, so I would have a lot of clients there and in Boca and in Miami. And then by this time, you know, everything changed. It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Wait, I'm gonna back up for 1 second just for because we know the story, but we've kind of glossed over it. What happened was I came down here and I wanted Wyatt to have some activity. We didn't really
right,
know that many people. There weren't that many people down here. We would go to
right,
the beach. There was hardly
right,
anyone there.
right.
So I was
And she could
looking
dance,
up.
by the way.
I'm sorry.
She could dance, by the way, at this
Well,
time.
but I didn't know that. So what was
Right.
funny about it is I researched uh dance studios. I researched camps first. And
Oh,
then Wyatt
okay.
was like, "Well, I would like to dance." And I was
Oh,
like, "Okay." So I called your dance studio and I left a message and it said you guys were closed. But someone called me back and then ended up putting me in touch with you. And I
right.
said to you, "Can you do a private?" You're like, "Well, I guess." And I'm like, "Okay." And knowing my personality, this isn't shocking. And I
Yeah,
was like, "Well,
exactly.
yes, you can. What are you doing?" You're like, I'm like, your studio is
That
closed,
was true.
so
That's true. That's true.
you're available."
Right.
And I said, "Why don't?" I said, "Do you have a camp?" And you said, "No." I said, "Well, you
Right.
do now.
Right.
So can you
Exactly.
come over from 1 in the afternoon till 4 or 5,
Yep.
Monday to Friday, and
Yep.
do a camp with my daughter?" And she's really
Right.
into this thing called TikTok. And maybe you could do some TikTok dances with her
That is
and,
correct.
whatever, it'll give her some exercise. So you said yes, and you came and you
Right.
did it. And within the first day, by 4:30, you showed me this TikTok, or I went outside and I watched you guys.
Right.
And I was like, "Oh my God, what just happened?"
Yeah.
Because it was day 1, and then by day 2, you had 3 more, and day 3, you
Yep.
had 5 more,
That's
and then you
true.
started playing with the different areas in the house to have different backgrounds, and
Exactly.
on the last day, we had you guys in a hammock area
I
and
remember
in a
that.
different house that I moved to. And then you had
Yep.
me doing a TikTok, which took
Which
maybe
went
50 tries
very well.
because
That went
I didn't
very
know what I
well.
was doing. And you were like, come on, be sexy. And I was like,
That's right. You
um,
crushed that one, though. You crushed that one. I got to give it to
well,
you. You did
okay.
very
I
well.
think it was as in little snippets, it's all smoke and mirrors. You can make it look
Right.
like anything. But
I
anyways,
remember
long story short, what you said happened. Some of these, we would post these TikToks
that.
and they
Right.
completely went viral. And it was the greatest
That's
thing for me to see Wyatt, first of all of a sudden dancing like she was a little professional. And she was like 8 or 9 at the time, maybe even
yeah.
7. And you and her
Confidence.
having such good chemistry that
Mhm.
you were like this little duo. And then my
Right.
phone started ringing off the hook and my Instagram with like, oh,
Yeah.
how can I hire this guy?
Yeah.
And because I had grown so fond of you, by the time I left on Friday, I was like, I think that you should create a job out of this. Like
You
you should be
did.
doing it.
Tell me
And
that.
next thing you know, the following year, you were invited to the Hamptons and New
Correct.
York City to start doing birthday parties and camps and
Yep.
one-on-ones in the Hamptons. I mean, it totally changed your life. I don't want to take credit for it, but it was kind of,
Yeah. It
help.
was your. It was definitely your idea,
Yeah.
and I appreciate you to this day. I'm super grateful for the idea, and I tell this story to everyone.
Yeah.
Especially to all the parents. They all know who you are, and it's just like, yeah, I give credit to Rachel.
Well, but the whole point is you learned how to pivot in that
Right.
circumstance, and you did not see COVID as a way to defeat you. You saw it
Right.
as a way to just pivot and figure out because dancing and teaching was and is your passion, and you did a
Right.
great job of figuring out how to continue that and to
Thank you.
even elevate your money, elevate
Yeah,
your
for sure.
financial goals out of that. So I'm so proud of you. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
let's fast forward a little bit. And now you have moved. You live in Miami.
Right.
You've closed your studio. And where are you at in life now?
Well, prior to me moving to Miami, I was, commuting back and forth from Palm Beach to Miami, teaching a lot of lessons. And I was like, I have more clients in Miami right now, on top of working with the Miami Heat. Because, mind you, I'm one of the choreographers for the Miami Heat dancers too, as well. For
Mhm.
9 years, I've been, teaching choreography for the Miami Heat dancers. And so it just only makes sense for me to move to Miami because I have more clientele in Miami, on Miami Beach, and I didn't have as much in Palm Beach at the time. And it was like, I feel like I've done my due diligence with Sean's Dance Factory. I feel like I built this strong hip hop dance community for kids, teens, and professional dancers in West Palm Beach. It's time for me to, take care of Sean now. No more overhead, no more, this and that, no more drama. No, it's just like I want to soar higher and evolve now. And I had that vision. As soon as I moved to Miami, man, I started racking up on a lot of private lessons throughout Miami Beach. And then um, come to
And also,
find,
by the way, I think it's important to mention you really focused on kids for, I think, that first year, but all of a sudden it was moms.
yeah,
And
and
then
then
it
it became,
was
yep,
a group of moms. And by
the
the way,
girls' night out, yep,
I think your girls' night out, your
the Gino, Sean's
Yeah,
Gino, girls' night
sorry,
out.
is such a good idea. Do you still do that?
Yeah, I do. Matter of fact, I do them like almost every month, like whether it's
Oh,
in
good.
Boca or Delray
And,
or Miami, wherever.
and what that is, well, explain what it is.
So Sean's Girls Night Out is it can be a mom or it can be just a woman who have a lady who have a birthday party, a bachelorette party, whatever. She'll bring me in. We'll do 2 glasses of champagne, so that's a dose. And then I come and teach like an hour or 45 minutes to an hour dance class. And so it's a judge free zone. There's no one judging no one, and it's you come in with 2 left feet, so you don't have to be a good dancer, obviously. And it's just like bringing a bunch of fun and happiness to this room full of women. And it's just me. And it was amazing. And I could
Right. And
charge
I
a lot of
love how
money.
you do it. Some hotels sponsor it, and it's just people that are signing up, and you have, 100 women.
Right.
Or, I mean, I've had you over to my apartment in New York City where we did
Right.
5 moms
Yeah, I
that I
remember
didn't
that.
really know, and all of our daughters were friends, and we did it in my apartment. It was so
I
fun.
remember
It's
that.
such a great icebreaker. And not
Right.
only that, as you get older, like I hate going to those big birthday dinners, and it's like
Yeah.
a bunch of women, it's 12 women sitting around, you're stuck
Yeah.
talking to the person next to you that you
It
don't
gets
even
boring.
know. and it
Yeah,
gets boring. And instead to hire you to come over, everybody gets drunk and dances and,
exactly.
does all these sexy moves. It's
Yeah.
so fun and you're laughing and you're
Thank you.
engaged with everyone in the room. It's the best thing. So I really hope that people
Thank you.
reach out to you and book you for that.
Thank you. O Spa was
So,
the right one. Oh, not to cut
oh
you off, but
yes,
O Spa was the name of the resort, and 106 girls came right away, and that changed the game because I used
yeah,
that video to get the game more
right,
that content to gain more of those type of parties,
right.
and I started doing
So
them in Dr. Tree and everywhere else.
Sean, what would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned throughout your life about what you've gone through, following your dreams, your passions, pivoting, all that stuff?
I would say never give up on yourself. Believe in your mission and keep your passion, but be true to yourself. Like be authentic, be your full authentic self. Don't try to be something that you're not. I'm not competing with anyone but myself. Like I'm blessed enough to have this type of niche that I can use, and I look to the left and right. There's no one but me. So
Right.
success is moving from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. And I like that quote because
I
that
love
stuck with me for the longest, and I use that.